At first, I thought the best part about moving to the middle of nowhere would be the quiet. After years of city life sirens, car horns, shouting through thin walls, I was desperate for silence. So when I found a cheap, weathered farmhouse on the outskirts of Durnhill, miles from the nearest neighbor, I jumped at the chance. It was everything I wanted: endless fields, no one around for miles, and just one lonely, cracked road leading back to civilization. It was peaceful. At least, that's what I told myself at first. But it didn't stay that way. This happened in late October last year. I'd been living there for only 2 months. The farmhouse was old, creaky, and smelled faintly of wood rot, but it had character: 2 stories, faded white paint, a rusted weather vane spinning on the roof. The kind of place people drive past and say, "That'd be beautiful fixed up." And I was trying. Fixing the plumbing, patching the roof, repainting the walls. Doing everything myself, which meant long nights and lonely meals. The first thing that told me something was off was the deer. One morning, I found one lying in the tall grass near the back of the house. Its body was torn open, ribs splayed like broken fingers, organs missing. It didn't look like an animal attack. I've seen coyotes and even bears tear into carcasses, but it was too precise, like something had removed specific pieces, like a butcher. I found a second deer 2 days later, then a third. Always in a different place, always the same style of mutilation. No blood trail, just their bodies dumped, emptied, and left to rot. I started carrying a hunting knife around with me. Then came the sounds. Living in the countryside, you learn to recognize normal noises: crickets, wind rustling the grass, the occasional distant bark. This was different. Around 2 a.m. I heard whispering. Not talking, whispering, soft, fast, raspy, like wind speaking. I sat up in bed, adrenaline flooding me, listening. The whispering was coming from outside my bedroom window. My window was cracked open for fresh air. I didn't move, just slowly leaned over and peeked through the blinds. The moon lit up the field like silver fire, and at first, I saw nothing. Then something moved. A tall shape, half hidden in the grass. It didn't walk, it glided. Limbs long and bent wrong. Its skin hung off its frame like wet cloth. I blinked and it was gone. The next morning, I told myself it was exhaustion, shadows playing tricks. I wanted to believe that, but the weirdness kept piling up. Footsteps upstairs when I was downstairs, my tools rearranged in the shed, my back door found wide open despite always locking it. One time I came home from a trip to town, and every cabinet in the kitchen was open. Every drawer pulled out. No sign of forced entry, nothing taken, just opened. Then I saw it again. It was dusk, and I was chopping wood out back. The air was thick with the scent of burning leaves. Something caught my eye near the tree line at the far end of the field. A figure, 7, maybe 8 feet tall, grayish skin stretched over a skeletal body. Its arms hung past its knees, fingers tapering into claws. Its head was skull-like, elongated, with antlers jutting out in asymmetrical directions, like branches rotting on a dead tree. It just stood there, watching. I froze, axe in hand, unable to breathe. It tilted its head slowly like a dog studying something. Then it moved, darting back into the grass in the blink of an eye. That night, I boarded up the windows. Saturday, with my shotgun in the living room, every creak made me jump. I didn't sleep. And just before sunrise, I heard it again, my own voice, whispering from the back door. "Let me in," it said softly, exactly like me. "I'm cold. Please." My stomach turned to ice. Then it laughed, a horrible, broken imitation of laughter, like it had watched a human do it once and tried to copy it. I called the sheriff's office the next morning, told them someone was trying to mess with me. They sent a deputy who checked around but found nothing. He looked skeptical when I told him about the voice. Said maybe I needed to take a break from the woods. I didn't push it. What would I say? "Hey, I think a creature from Native American folklore is stalking me in the cornfields?" A few days later, something worse happened. I woke up in the middle of the night to find my front door wide open. The cold air poured in, and the wind carried the smell of rot. I grabbed my shotgun and flashlight and cautiously stepped outside. I swept the beam across the field. That's when I saw them. Dozens of deer, all standing still, all facing my house. Not eating, not moving, just watching. Some of them were missing patches of fur. Others had eyes clouded over with white film. One near the front had its neck twisted almost completely around, like it had been snapped and spun. I stepped back inside and slammed the door shut, bolting it. I didn't sleep that night either. The next day, there were no tracks in the dirt outside, not a single hoof print. The woods and the fields around my house felt different after that. Not just eerie wrong. The wind didn't blow the way it used to. The birds had stopped singing. Even the insects seemed to disappear. There was a silence that wasn't peaceful anymore. It was heavy, like the world was holding its breath. I tried to do research. I found a few old local legends online stuff about a spirit in the woods, something ancient and hungry, born from greed and cannibalism. The name Wendigo came up again and again. I read accounts most dismissed as folktales about gaunt creatures with glowing eyes and antlers, luring people out with voices they trusted. But I wasn't in the woods. I was in open fields. That's what didn't make sense. They say the Wendigo lives in the forests, but whatever this was, it was here, and it knew me now. I decided I had to leave. I packed a single bag, grabbed my keys, and made for the door. And then, the power went out. All at once, every light in the house died. My phone wouldn't turn on. My car wouldn't start. It was as if the world itself decided I wasn't leaving. I locked myself in the upstairs bedroom and waited for morning. Around 2:17 a.m., I heard footsteps on the roof. Slow, heavy, deliberate. They crossed above me, then stopped. Something began scratching at the window. I turned slowly and shined my flashlight toward it. It was there, inches from me. On the other side of the glass, its face was stretched and wrong sunken eyes, glowing faintly orange, lips split wide and a smile full of jagged brown teeth. Blood crusted around its chin, and pieces of something hung from its antlers. Its hand long, bony, and clawed pressed against the window pane. Then, with one sickening screech, it dragged its nails down the glass. I backed away until I hit the opposite wall. My legs wouldn't move. I could barely breathe. Then it spoke, not in its own voice, in my mother's voice. "Open the window, sweetheart," it said, sweet and kind. "Let Mama in." I screamed. I don't even remember doing it, just a sound that tore out of my throat like it didn't belong to me. The thing smiled wider, like it enjoyed that. Then it vanished. I must have passed out. When I woke up, it was morning. The window was intact, though the frost on the glass bore long drag marks, like something sharp had melted its way across. I left that morning with nothing but the clothes on my back. Walked for 3 hours until I found a truck driver willing to give me a ride into town. I haven't been back since. People ask me all the time why I left, why I walked away from such a beautiful, quiet place. The house was perfect. Rolling hills, no neighbors for miles, sunsets that looked like paintings. To them, it sounds like paradise. I just smile and say the peace and quiet wasn't for me. Too still, I say, too empty. But that's not the truth. Not really. Because sometimes, late at night, when the world goes silent and the hum of the city fades into nothing, I still hear it. Not always words anymore, just something low and constant. A sound that's less a whisper and more. My name. Over and over again. That place took something from me. I don't know what exactly, but I left a part of myself behind when I ran. Maybe it's still standing in that field, paralyzed, watching, waiting, listening. A few weeks ago, someone else bought the house, a young couple, newly married. They just wanted a fresh start, something away from the noise and stress of the city. They seemed so happy, excited. They were gone in 2 days. No goodbye, no explanation. They left everything behind: clothes, food still in the fridge, even their car parked in the driveway. Just gone. When the real estate agent went to check, she found the back door wide open. No signs of a struggle, nothing stolen, just open. And in the field, behind the house, dozens of deer, silent, motionless, all staring at the house. She said they didn't flinch when she pulled into the driveway, didn't run when she opened her car door. They just stood there, as if waiting for something, or watching something. I don't know what that thing is, whether it's a Wendigo, a spirit, or something older, something worse. But it doesn't need the cover of forests anymore. It doesn't hide in the shadows of the trees. Just open land, a bit of quiet, and someone alone, listening, always listening.